Good morning, friends. It's been a while since I've been live here, but I'm finally starting to feel better, more like myself, and able to do more. So today I am going to be teaching you my favorite techniques for applying or using a skin tint with cream makeup. And this is something that you can do with any makeup base. Doesn't necessarily have to be a skin tint, but I particularly wanted to talk about this skin tint because I was having a hard time getting it to look good on me. And I think I cracked the code on it. And it definitely comes down to application, brushes and all that stuff. So anyways, I just finished my skincare routine. So I'm looking a little glowy because I'm testing out some new skincare. But I'm gonna start off first with my aloe vera gel. This is my favorite product, especially in the summer. It's super duper lightweight. I really do like the Milk Hydro Grip too. This one right here, she's a little bit more costly, has more products in it, and is a little bit thicker. So for me, like in the summertime when I start getting really hot and stuff like that, the less that I have on my skin, the better it is for me. And this literally feels like water. So this is just gonna help to control oil production. It's gonna help your makeup wear a little bit better. I wore this yesterday. I had this on my face as my skin prep after my skincare routine. And my makeup lasted like all day long. That and then this other product that I have been obsessed with, like literally, I can't get enough of it. So we're gonna let that dry for like about a minute. While I do that, let me see if I can grab my clear brow gel. Hold on. I thought I had it with me. I did not. It's in here. Here we go. I'm gonna do clear brow gel today. We're just gonna fluff up the brows. I always do something while I'm letting things kind of sit. So we're doing this. I was gonna use the aloe vera gel, which I've done it before, as eyeshadow primer. It's like a pretty decent eyeshadow primer. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it works pretty good. Like if you're in a rush, if you're in a pinch and you need an eyeshadow primer to just kind of help, again, with the oil production, help your makeup last or your eyeshadow last a little bit better. It's gonna be a quick and easy. So we just let that dry completely. Once it feels nice and tacky, that means we're ready to go. So this is the skin tint in question. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint. This is in the shade 10N. I originally got it in 11W, which I'm not warm toned. I'm definitely neutral undertoned. But I had gotten it in my Ipsy box and it was so orange and so dark on me. And I don't even think I would get that dark and orange. So I got this one and I tried it with like a fluffier brush, so like kind of like the shape brush. This is what I tried it with, and I tried swirling it. Big mistake. That is, so let me tell you a little bit about skin tints and like all that stuff. Number one, I'm gonna make this disclaimer. I think that skin tints do not give you enough SPF coverage. I know the reason why we're doing it. I know why they're marketing it with SPF in there. I get it, because it's like but it's a way that we can speed up our makeup routine, right? But for me, what I do is my skin prep routine in the morning, it's 3 products. It's a like exfoliating wipe, toner wipe, whatever, a serum to help treat my skin, and SPF moisturizer. So most SPFs are moisturizing products. If it's a mineral sunscreen, it's most likely not. But if it's a chemical sunscreen, it's most likely a moisturizing sunscreen, because mineral sunscreens, a lot of them are really thick, so it's like not as hydrating as like a chemical sunscreen. And also chemical sunscreens don't leave white cast, mineral sunscreens do. So take that as you will. A lot of people are anti-chemical sunscreen because they think that chemical sunscreens don't last or protect as well, but they both work really well. It really comes down to preference, comes down to what's going to work best for you. And for me personally, as a brown skin girl, chemical sunscreens work the best because I don't have a white cast, and I don't have to like finesse it. So anyways, the reason why I'm telling you about chemical and minerals, because this has mineral sunscreen in it. So this has zinc oxide and I can't remember the other one. But basically, because it has that mineral sunscreen in it, it's a tinted mineral sunscreen. So they've tinted it now. So that way it's not just coming out white. But the issue is that when you kind of rub it it'll kind of oxidize because it's like the tint is kind of releasing from the mineral and it just turns into this orangey pastiness that looks really, really dark. And that's what I've learned about this specific one, especially because it's the Halo Glow, which if you've not tried the Halo Glow from e.l.f., it's a really, really nice like dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, like glowy thing. But again, I think that it's best to just, honestly, if you want to do a skin tint, I would just do SPF, do your regular SPF, let that sit, and then do a regular skin tint. And also, skin tints are a huge marketing ploy. It's basically a glorified tinted moisturizer. Let's be honest, that's exactly what skin tints are. Think about it. So if you have a good tinted moisturizer that you really, really love, keep using that one. But anyways, the issue with this is that you have to use 2 tablespoons, right? Is that how much it is? Is it 2 tablespoons or 1 tablespoon? You have to use quite a bit of this to get the SPF 50 claim that this has. So you have to put on a lot of it. I think it's best to just do the sunscreen and then you can use whatever tinted moisturizer you want, or skin tint, or whatever you want to call it. I do like this. I think that it's great, but what I learned with it is when I use too much of it, that's where it started turning dark and orange. So if you're someone who maybe you are a person of color like me, and you have been wanting to try out the e.l.f. Halo Glow, these are just things to keep in mind. I wore it yesterday and finally had success with it by using less and using a different brush. But it didn't give me that sun protection. I had to get that from my SPF. So it's like, sure, we could be double protected. I don't see anything wrong with that, but just keep that in mind. If you're trying to get this to skip using SPF because you're trying to speed up your process or whatever, you're not really getting the sun protection you need. Anyways, you're gonna shake this up really, really well. We're gonna apply some on the back of our hand right here. Not very much. That's like probably half or maybe even a third of what I probably should be applying to get SPF 50. Anyways, we're going to use a really nice dense brush. This is the type of brush I like to use for skin tint, for tinted moisturizers, for liquid foundations. I like using this for like cream foundation too, but this is a dense brush, rounded. It gives me nice even coverage, and it helps that makeup really apply really nicely. So we're going to load up the brush, and this is for any skin tint. You can totally do your fingers, but with this particular formula, I found that when I used my fingers, again, when I was rubbing it in, it turned dark. So when I do it this way, see how it stays true to color? That's what we want. So we're just gonna kind of tap that in. I'm starting in the center of my face and kind of where I have the most discoloration. Because always remember, wherever you place down your product first is where you're going to have the most of that product. So I want the most coverage to be here. Now I will say it still is a little teensy-weensy bit dark, just a little. So I wouldn't say it's the perfect color for me, but because it is a skin tint, it's sheer, it's forgiving. It's not a full coverage skin tint, because I have tried one of those, and I will say like the fuller coverage ones, definitely it's a little less forgiving, but this is kind of like, I would say a light to medium coverage. It's not too much. I think it's like the perfect amount, and kind of like take that as you will. Everyone has their preferences. I personally don't really like fuller coverage, especially if I'm using a skin tint. Like the whole reason why I'm using a skin tint is because I want it to tint my skin a little bit. I want it to just kind of help to even out the skin some and just kind of give me a light base. Like I'm okay with my imperfections showing through. I'm okay with my skin showing through. I'm going to stamp this. So notice that I'm stamping. I've never rubbed this into my skin. We have stamped it the whole way through. That is what is going to keep the pigment together so that it doesn't try to oxidize on me. I'm gonna put a little bit underneath my eyes, and there we have the skin tint looking really, really nice. I know this lighting is not the best lighting, but the way that the natural lighting in my room is right now, I literally can't even like sit in front of that because it would make me look like the blinds, you know, and it's just a little too bright right now. But anyways, all right, Then after that, we're gonna go into our cream makeup. So this is where I use the shape brush for this. I like using lighter amounts of cream makeup whenever I'm using any kind of like skin tint, because again, the whole point of a skin tint is like you're trying to get this like fresh, natural finish. And you can see how glowy this e.l.f. skin tint is too. I think it's really beautiful. I do like it a lot now that I've figured out the right way to use it. This is blush and bronzer brush, by the way, that I used with it. And now we're using the shape brush. I think that if you want like that lighter coverage, you need a lighter, fluffier brush. So I'm gonna go in first with my main highlight to conceal my under eyes and any other imperfections. So we're gonna kind of perfect the skin at this point. And again, notice that I am dabbing, I am not rubbing, because we wanna keep the makeup in place. We're not trying to move things around. So dabbing is always going to give you coverage, keep the makeup in place. And because we're using this fluffy brush, it's applying a light amount. And you can see how that's looking so much better. I'm gonna also use a little tiny bit just around here where I have a little bit of some acne scars going on that I wanna perfect and just cover up a little tiny bit. And I'm literally just dabbing, dab, 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 that's it. Then I'm gonna go in to my bronzer shade. And today I'm not gonna do blush because I'm gonna film another video with testing out a different blush. So I'm just gonna do bronzer today. So we're gonna keep it a little bit more natural. I might do a little contour. We're gonna start the contour back, or sorry, the bronzer back here. This is High Tide. I'm just using that on that fluffy brush. And again, notice that I am always stamping because it's gonna help me to have control, help me to keep my makeup in place, and help me to get the coverage that I need. So we're just stamping that away on the skin. I'm gonna put a little bit more since we're just doing the bronzer, kind of getting a bronzier effect, which is something that you can totally do if you want something a little bit more natural, kind of more of a sun-kissed finish. So I'm gonna bring this up a little bit more, actually, and I'm gonna do this kind of in this like W shape. This is gonna give me a sun-kissed finish. So we're just kind of keeping that there. Now this isn't gonna work for everybody. I have a longer face, so for me it works really, really well because it will widen my face just a little tiny bit in this area. So definitely play around with it. If you don't like it, you can always take your main highlight and just clean that up. So everything in makeup is fixable. Which, speaking of, we are finally doing our master classes again. Starting next week, we will do, I don't know if I'm gonna do monthly master classes. I might, but I am going to do a troubleshooting 5-minute makeup for the summer. So I'll definitely be posting about that soon. So stay tuned for an invite. You'll definitely get one from Facebook from me. So I'm just putting a little bronzer on my forehead right there to add some color to the skin. Now we're gonna go into the contour shade. And I'm just gonna use a smaller brush and I'm going to just hug my natural cheekbone right there. Then I'm gonna blend that up like so. And again, I'm dabbing. I'm not really swiping. I think a lot of people think that I'm doing like these crazy movements, and I'm really not. I'm being really intentional with how I'm using my brush. Like here, I'm stamping and I'm following my cheekbone. My cheekbone is kind of down here, so I'm kind of placing it a little bit above so I get some nice lift. And then when I go to blend, I'm just kind of doing this kind of motion. It's just happening really quickly because I'm stamping back and forth and kind of pushing it up so that we have that nice shape going on there. Then we'll do our nose contour. So I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit here and here just to add some color. And then I'm gonna bring that out some so that we keep that nice and snatched looking. And then I'm gonna take my pop highlight, my brightening highlight, whatever you wanna call it. And we're just gonna brighten up the center of my face. You don't need very much of this, just like kind of there and there. I'm gonna put some down center of my nose. And again, with that skin tint, I think it's best, this particular formula. If you had like a different formula of skin tint, like one that didn't have SPF in it, you probably could be a little bit messier with it. But I find that this works best, just kind of stamping, letting the brush kind of do the work for you, which is why I use the fluffy brush, because that fluffy brush is gonna blend everything out for us. So it's kind of like we are doing our 3D foundation application on top of the skin tint, but we're not like covering the whole entire face. We're just like kind of like evening out the skin and like mostly focusing on the color complexion products. So like the contour, the bronzer, the blush, which I'm gonna do again, like I said, a different blush for today's look. But there you kind of have that. Okay, and I'm just blending everything out, making sure there's no harsh lines. And look at how pretty it's looking. It looks like skin, it's evened out, it has some nice radiance to it. It's nice and blended, there are no harsh lines, everything's looking really nice and flawless. I'm just kind of blending out my bronzer a little bit more on my forehead here because that was looking like a little, that little, what's it called? I can't think of the word, but whatever. Anyways, all right, so then to finish off the look, you could totally just do, if you like the glow and you're okay with the glow, you could totally just do setting spray. It won't probably last as long because glowier makeup does not really last long. It's beautiful, but it doesn't last long. So yeah, I'm gonna set my face with my favorite setting powder. This works great for all skin types, whether if you're dry, oily combination, mature. This is so beautiful. It has a little bit of this iridescence to it, so it gives this hydrated finish to the skin. And then it also helps to absorb this the excess oil, helps to lock in the makeup, and gives like a soft matte finish. I wouldn't say it's like a full matte. It's a translucent powder, but it works great on even the deepest skin tone. So I just tap off the excess there. And before I set, I just make sure that my under eyes are looking nice and smooth, that there is no creasing. And then I set, because if I set where the concealer is kind of creasing, I don't know if you can see that right there, because I probably put a little bit too much product, or because of the fact that this is a hydrating product underneath, and then I'm putting hydration on top, so it's just, it kind of will settle. So you just want to make sure that you get rid of the, you see that right there? So we're just gonna smooth that out. You can also use a little sponge, a damp little sponge, and tap off the excess. And that'll just help that be nice and smooth. Whatever your under eye looks like before you set, that's what's gonna look like once you set it. So I make sure that it's looking nice and flawless, there's no creasing going on, and then I just will press in, and then I'll do my pores. Always remember, again, wherever you press your product down first is where you're getting the most product payoff. So right here, I am mattifying this area so that I kind of create a more smoother poreless finish, because we don't need pore blurring primers because that's just a gimmick and it doesn't last. Just use a setting powder. So I'm just setting my face right there in the center, however much you want to, however matte you want to make it. But do you see that? Do you see how it's like instantly transforming? It makes me crazy whenever people like will do demonstrations and they're like, for example, look at my chin, right? And they go like this, and they'll like put the powder that I did not tap off the excess of, put the powder there, and they're like, oh my god, look at that, it's like so flawless here, and then it's like not here. Like, duh, you mattified this area and you didn't mattify this area. Every powder does that. So it's not really that powder that's making it so special. So don't fall for the gimmicks. I watch quite a bit of TikTok, and I see a lot of TikTok shops, affiliates and stuff like that, doing crap like that, and it drives me crazy because it's like, of course it's going to look flawless. You just mattified the area. You got rid of the light that was reflecting it, that was bringing things forward. Light always brings things forward. The lack of light doesn't. So when you mattify an area, you're basically getting rid of the light, which is going to make it look more dull, if you will, or just like flawless, if you will, because you're basically like getting rid of the thing that was bringing all the imperfections forward, and you're just creating a more flawless finish, which is why I'm a huge believer in setting powder, especially if you want a long-lasting flawless finish, because that is what's going to lock in your makeup and give you that flawless complexion, get rid of your pores, make you look more airbrushed. Like it got rid of all the texture on my forehead. Because it's just not shining, that light's not reflecting anymore. So anyways, I just don't want you to fall for the gimmicks and the like people over here making crap up and acting like as if that powder is the only powder that does that. All setting powders that are translucent and that are matte will always give a flawless finish. The issue is, does it dry out the skin? Does it enhance excess skin texture? Does it wear well throughout the day? Does it actually last? Does it actually hold up? I have a love-hate relationship with first impression videos because of that exact reason. Like, first impression, this looks gorgeous, but how does it wear throughout the day? And I will tell you, as someone who has gone through many of this is probably my 4th or 5th container, this wears beautifully throughout the day, and I absolutely love it. But this is the product I've been obsessed with. This is the Final Treat Hyaluronic Acid Infused Setting Spray from TYS Beauty. Treat Yourself is what it stands for. We're gonna shake her up. We are going to drench, you heard me right, drench our skin. So if you're someone who's concerned with your makeup or the powder enhancing skin texture, making you look older, whatever the case may be, drenching your face with setting spray is going to be the way to go, because it's going to melt down the powder, lock in your makeup. I probably put way more than what I really needed to, because I was being a little bit overly dramatic, but I do kind of like about 10. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know, I'll just keep going. So we're just gonna dry that off real quick. This melts down all of my powder, makes my skin look like skin again. But what I love about it is it's not a super glowy like setting spray, because there are some setting sprays that have hyaluronic acid, or we'll say dewy or whatever, and it just makes it look sweaty. And I don't want it to look sweaty. I just want it to look rehydrated again. So the powder is gonna help to lock in the makeup and seal everything in. But this is going to like basically like melt down that powder so that you don't aren't left with that powdery finish. Your skin looks like skin again. It's rehydrated. It's going to look like kind of make it wear a little bit longer. So think of setting powder kind of like a styling product, right? That gives pretty good hold to your hair, and it's like a gel. Let's say it's a gel. So it's going to give pretty good hold to your hair, and lock things in really nicely. But you want your hair to like really like just stay in place, not move at all, not budge. That's where hairspray comes in. So you still need the gel. The gel's gonna give you really good hold and make sure that your style lasts, but you just need a little bit more. That's what setting spray does. You see how that just like melted in the powder and made my skin look like skin again, and kind of regave me that glow from the skin tint without being too much. Then, because I have large pores, and if I leave this area here too shiny or hydrated looking, it's going to enhance the pores. So I'll just take whatever's left over on the powder puff and just press that right there. And you see how that disappeared? Because again, we're getting rid of that reflection, that light reflection, but my skin feels like skin and looks like skin. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to look super matte. I wanted it to look like a soft glow matte, and this is it right here. I can add more bronzer at this point if I wanted to, which I probably will. So yes, even though I did setting powder and setting spray, this is what I love about cream makeup, specifically the Saint cream makeup, is that you can put it on top of already set makeup. It's gonna rehydrate the skin without enhancing skin texture and without making the skin look muddy. So I absolutely love it. But yes, those are the products that I am loving right now for summer. These 3 are my holy grails. We have our aloe vera gel to help your makeup wear a little bit longer, kind of like a final prep product before you put on the makeup, to help with oil control, help with sweat. Literally, I have to show you. I was standing outside, so I did my makeup like around 6 in the morning. So 6:30, let's say 6:30 is when I do my makeup. You know, I'm doing it in the car. So I stood outside to socialize with people. It was 94 degrees outside. I don't even remember, honestly. It was like 90 something degrees with like 100% humidity. It was so freaking humid. And I could feel the humidity on my skin. So I was nervous that my skin was going to look really sweaty and really oily. And that usually does happen, especially when I'm using like hydrated skin tints like this. That happens a lot. So I was like, we're really putting this to the test. I test out a lot of stuff on Sunday because I know that's the only time that I really go outside. So anyway, I get in the car. We get in the car probably like around 2 o'clock p.m. So that's what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So that is 8 hours. 8 hours. Okay, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yes, almost 8 hours. We're going to say 7.5. So my makeup has been on for 7.5 hours. I don't touch up my makeup. I don't do anything. The only thing I'll probably do is maybe my lips. And my makeup looked almost exactly the same. It had a little bit of shine, a little tiny bit, but it wasn't like anything crazy. It was like normal shine, but it wasn't like super oily. And it looked so good. And I took a nap. I woke up around like 5 o'clock p.m. and my makeup was still intact, like completely intact. It had not budged at all. The blush was still just as vibrant. The skin was looking exactly the same. It was insane. And it really comes down to this right here. The fact that, one, I'm prepping my skin correctly, and two, I'm using these products right here that are like just essentials, summer essentials. I mean, I wear them like a lot throughout the year too, but like in the summer especially, this aloe vera gel, she's my ride or die in the summertime. I don't really use it as much in non-summer months, just out of laziness. But this is like my holy grail powder, and this has become my holy grail setting spray. I love this setting spray. It is absolutely phenomenal. It has a great sprayer, gives me hydration without greasy or sticky or dewy, which I love. It's like a semi matte finish, and I just am obsessed with it. So those are like my holy grails. Then we have the blush and bronzer brush, which is what I recommend for applying any kind of liquid, whether if it's skin tint, whether if it's tinted moisturizer, BB cream, foundation, whatever the case may be, this type of brush is going to be it. And then for applying my makeup on top, my cream makeup on top, I like using the shape brush. I just feel like it just gives me more control, helps me to not move things around, and helps things to wear a lot better. And then of course my powder puff. So that is basically it. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you do try out any of these tips, definitely feel free to share them in the group, because I always love seeing your beautiful faces. I love seeing you try out products. And as I mentioned all the time, this is a very judgment-free, safe zone. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to think less of you. And the whole point of this group is to help you to find your confidence in your beauty routine, but in general, just to help you to find your confidence. And I want you to find your confidence. And I think one of the best ways is by kind of putting yourself out there and allowing people to give you praise, because that's what people do in this group. We don't bash anybody. We don't ridicule. We don't make fun of people. So I know it's scary, but I want to challenge you to, if you try any of these things, take a quick picture of yourself. You don't even have to do a before. Just do the after. Take a quick picture of yourself, post it, and share a couple of tips. Maybe you need some recommendations, or what's it called? Suggestions, tips, no. Feedback. Maybe you need some feedback. That's what we're here for. So anyway, I love you guys so much. And stay tuned for details of masterclass happening next Monday night. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have. Got to go work on my newsletter too. So many things. Anyways, I love you all so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Catch you in the next one.